Welcome to episode 3 of That's Pretty Cool podcast. New year, new decade.
New episode.
Here
we are. Again, coming at you live from our tiny apartment in Northwest Portland. And this episode is all about
Sauvie Island.
Indeed. But it's going to be a short episode.
Because we were recording on our iPhone when we went there, and also it was really windy, so a lot of the audio just flopped.
So we'll head back to Sauvie Island throughout the seasons, throughout the coming year. Check out all the really cool things that happen there. Bird sanctuaries, pumpkin patches, berry picking, who knows? It'll be a grand adventure.
So here we are at the Sauvie Island Jubilee. It's the 75th Jubilee. And what are you eating?
Corn.
How is it?
Good.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day. There's live music. There's all these booths with like nature and wildlife and history and just certain things that are specific to the island itself.
And it was not Jasper's first trip out to Sauvie Island.
No.
He went out there in 3rd grade as a field trip, right? And what did you guys do?
We just explored pretty much. We went to different activities, like there was eating the rainbow of plants, and there was learning about the plant life cycle. Stuff like that.
About a seed. It was all about farming.
Yeah, farming.
Yeah, and where your food comes from, which is a really cool thing to learn because a lot of people are just like, my food comes from a grocery store. But there are a few steps before it gets there. I mean, you've had a different exposure to that because I work at a grocery store. So I can tell you where it comes from. And where we used to live in Davis, California, there are farmlands all over the place, and we went to farms quite a bit.
Yeah.
We also learned about nature. We learned about some of the animals on Sauvie Island, which is
we
pretty
even
cool.
met some of the animals.
It's true. What animals did we meet?
There was a frog. We met a few frogs, actually.
They're so tiny.
Yeah. We were just on the nature walk. And I found a few frogs. I found 3 of them. 2 of them hopped away. One of them, when it was time to go, he just hung on me. He's like, no, I don't want to leave.
How big are they? What color are they?
They're pretty small. I found 3 different variants. There's a brown one, a red one, and a green one. And so I'm just keeping my eye out for more.
Okay, well, how small are they?
They're like, they're as small as the tip of my thumb. Yes.
I think that was all we met.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have seen some birds and stuff.
Yeah. We found some owl pellets.
Yeah, we did find owl pellets. That's true. A note about owl pellets. We were given one by some friends that went out to visit Sauvie Island like 2 years ago when we first moved to Portland. And it was in a baggie, and we had it on our fridge because we were going to dissect it at some point, and then we just forgot. It just kind of like slipped down on the fridge, and we forgot that it was there. And then all of a sudden the kitchen was infested with these like crazy moths, and we were like, where the heck are these coming from? They just kept showing up, and we ended up throwing out all of our bulk food and so many cereals because there were those little moths that get in there. And then I discovered the owl pellet in the baggie that was suddenly filled with moths. So don't keep your owl pellets, I guess is the moral of that story. Don't put them on your fridge and expect to do it later. Just do it in the moment and then get rid of it. Yeah, it was gross. It was gross. All right. On that note, sit back, relax, and enjoy this short episode all about
Sauvie Island.
Time for some riddles. I have scales, but I don't measure weight. I'm an insect, but I'm not a cockroach. I feed on nectar, but I'm not a bee. I'm colorful, but I'm not a rainbow. I flutter, but I'm not a hummingbird. What am I?
A A butterfly?
Yes. Okay, second one. How can you share 5 apples with 7 friends? Make applesauce.
So we're going to ask you a few questions. Can you tell us about the Sauvie Island Center and what it does?
Sure. Well, I'm Alicia King, and I am the program manager, and the Sauvie Island Center does a couple different things. The biggest thing we do is farm field trips for kindergarten through 5th grade students, and we work with students all over Portland Metro, and we offer farm field trips that give students the opportunity to see where their food comes from and introduce all the steps of the food chain, and also give opportunities for you to touch the soil and visit worms and taste test the rainbow. And then we also do a summer camp, and then we do family days.
Okay. And why is that important?
Well, for me, it's important because I've been someone that has been working with the soil for a long time, and I think that teaching students and families where their food comes from gives them a larger appreciation for all the hands that bring the food from the seed all the way to your plate. And I think it also connects students with themselves and the natural world, something that oftentimes in our age where we're so focused on test results and looking at things online, it's really nice to have that tactile understanding of where our food comes from.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One of the best places to visit on Sauvie Island is Howell Territorial Park. In that park, there's a farm, the Sauvie Island Center, and the stand of tall trees with a clearing below where you can find owl pellets. And so far, we've found
2.
And
there's also some cool funguses around here. Funguses?
mushrooms, basically. I don't know what kinds they are, though.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. The ground is covered in pine needles and it's soft to walk on. There's lots of pine cones, big sticks. Today, because of the Jubilee, there's lots of kids playing with these brightly colored parachutes and bubbles. Looks like a good time.
Yeah. I mean, it's for littler kids than me. But still.
Maybe not your thing, but still cool.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to go on a nature walk in the wetlands here in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Donna Matrazo. I've lived on the island 31 years, and I'm one of the founders of the Sauvie Island Conservancy. This is Willow Elliott with the Native Plant Society of Oregon, and then joining us is going to be Cammie Kern-Kuro, who's with West Multnomah Soil and Water Conservation District, and they are the plant experts. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from here, turn around, and do a loop, and going to pass some pretty interesting things.
Okay. Can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
I'm Jane Hartline, and I'm the director of the Sauvie Island Habitat Partnership. And we are the people who care about the frogs and the turtles and the plants and all of the native birds and animals out here on the island. Awesome. It was a pleasure meeting you.
What are the coolest animals you've ever seen?
Ooh. On the island? Well, I have pictures that I take on my wildlife cam, and I've been getting pictures of otters and beavers and weasels and muskrats and all kinds of things. I'm not sure which are my favorite. I like them all. Maybe the otters.
The otters are pretty cool. They're very cool.
Are there?
So come on in.
Are there any endangered animals on the island?
There are, and they are actually fish. The salmon. There's some endangered salmon runs that come through this area, and there are quite a few animals that are on the state sensitive species list. There's a lot of them.
How many?
I don't know how many, but it would include turtles and red-legged frogs, willow flycatchers. There's a lot of different ones.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
How can kids help the animals on the island?
That's a good question. I think that it's really important for kids to talk their parents into being on board with this, because sometimes parents do things that are not good for the animals, And if the kids really care about the animals, the best thing they can do is influence their parents.
Awesome. Cool. Anything else?
Yeah. No, not really.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.
Thanks for tuning in and listening to our little episode on Sauvie Island and nature. I had fun. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
We'll be back again next month talking about one of our favorite topics.
Cats.
That's right, kitty cats. We checked out Purrington's Lounge in Northeast Portland and the cat adoption team in Sherwood, and it's super, super cool. So thank you again for listening. You can always email us at
that'spretttycoolpodcast@gmail.com.
or just find us on Instagram or good old Facebook. So thank you.
Thank you.
Pretty cool. 3,
New.
2, 1.
Midwinter Sauvie Island by Mark Talman. In late afternoon, sunlight...
Take 3.
Midwinter Sauvie Island by Mark Talman. In late afternoon, sunlight slices between huge gray clouds, turning the valley and hills vibrant. All colors grow equally intense as if someone is adjusting a dial. Each hue threatens to spill out of it. That's where I mess up.
All right, poem, take 4.
Midwinter Sauvie Island by Mark Talman. In late afternoon, sunlight slices between huge gray clouds, turning the valley and hills vibrant. All colors grow equally intense as if someone is adjusting a dial. Each hue threatens to spill out of the physical shape it possesses. Forest, fields, and houses becoming a giant tide. Finally! After like 10 takes.
Just thinking about it, that's pretty cool.